Tuesday morning. How are you this morning? I am great and so excited. It's a new year and a new week and a new month and all the news of the world. So I was just sitting here praising the Lord. Had a great meeting yesterday. I got to go to a meeting this morning. But yesterday's meeting was exciting because we have a new show starting in 2 weeks. I guess it's 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And it is going to be a Christian rock show here on WAPN. Yep, I'm super excited. I love different programming. I love different music. Of course, my favorite is live worship. But I have to be honest, I have to do something for everybody. And so I had a meeting yesterday, and I love the music. And I was like, yeah, let's go for it. So starting in 2 weeks on a Friday at 6 p.m., there's going to be some Christian rock here on WAPN and testimonies and encouragement and all that. And then it will be replayed a week behind. So it'll be redone, though, the following Saturday. So I am super excited. We're working out all the details. We're going to be training. We're going to be doing, live podcasting it and all that. So super excited to see how God is going to work that out and do that. You never know what God's plan is. And I am a yes person. I love to hear your ideas. I love to hear your thoughts about what you would like to do on radio. So the best thing to do is email me, WAPN@WAPN.net. I got a message this morning that said they've been trying to text me. WAPN's line is not a text line. And so it made me giggle, but nowadays we all text. I remember back in the day, I was not going to text. I tell this story, but it is a funny story. Nope, I'm not going to text. That's so impersonal, blah, 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 blah. And now I text all the time. And it's funny now, I even do delayed text where you can put a time on it so it gets delivered later on because I get up earlier than most of you. And so I am a texter. So when I got that message this morning that I hadn't returned the text, I'm thinking I didn't get it. And then I thought, because the main line does not have a text line on it. So it made me giggle early this morning. Technology. We are blessed with technology. Today is Technology Day, and I was thinking about that. We are live on the air at 91.5 FM. Our sister station is WAPB 91.7 FM in Madison County. We can go over to our website, WAPN.net, and you can listen right there. You can do our Apple app, WAPN Radio. We do Facebook. We do Instagram. We do Twitter. We do YouTube, WAPN 91.5 FM. So we are on a lot of different platforms doing radio. And so there's lots of ways you can listen to us. And I really appreciate technology. Technology is a challenge. I know. I don't even know how it works. I always tell everybody, I don't even know how it works, but it's really awesome. And I appreciate having Shane that keeps everything going. And I appreciate when I have a crazy idea, how we try to figure it out. And so I'm very thankful. But how do you listen to WAPN? Where do you listen? How do you listen? What's your favorite way? I just like to ask that question now and then because it makes me decide on what the next step is or what the next cool thing we want to do. I know everybody asks me, why don't we get an Android app? Well, because you can get TuneIn Radio, you can get different radios. Just go to your app store and click on local radio stations and you will be able to stream that way. And back in the day, 15 years ago, when we got the Apple app, you actually had to have an app per thing, and we were Apple people, and so we started with Apple. And then as things opened up and more with apps, you could do it different ways. So we decided, why spend the money doing it a different way when you could just go to your app store and search local radio, WAPN 91.5 FM in Holly Hill, Daytona Beach, whatever you want to call it, and do it that way. So it's neat to see the technology. It's neat to see how people listen. It's neat to hear from you around the world. I really appreciate that when you let me know you're listening in Jamaica or wherever. I love it. There's a lady that calls in on Mondays and she's in the Caribbean. And I just love that she does that. I travel. When I travel, I always listen to the station just because I'm still in awe. Even though I own the place and even though I know about all the technology, it is so cool when you're somewhere else and you click it on and you go, wow, I'm listening to so-and-so, or I can participate in something, and I love it also, prayer line. That's a unique thing about WAPN. We believe in prayer. We believe in the one. We're searching for Jesus. And so I'm always thinking about that person that is scanning the dial or clicking on some kind of software or checking us out on whatever item it is, or maybe they're looking on YouTube now and we reach them. And so I love it when people are doing the salvation prayer over the air. That is something that I have a new idea for that as far as running that more. And I want every prayer line to do the salvation prayer, because I really feel that it meets each person where they're at. Something can be said that doesn't even faze me, just goes in and out one ear, no big deal. And then there'll be another voice that maybe really speaks to my soul. And so I think that is important. So one of my goals for 2026 is maybe more prayer lines. Yeah, maybe more prayer lines. And of course, salvation prayer more, so that we give that opportunity. We're in the middle of a revival right now. I really believe that there's a huge move right now with the younger generation. I believe that Forrest Frank has done an amazing job with getting everybody excited. I mean, he's awesome. And the dance moves and all that. And I love seeing the younger generation on fire, and they're bold in their faith. I mean, bold in their faith. So I love seeing all that. And so right now with that movement, we have to reach where they're at. And so people go, well, yeah, they're more into podcasting. But my thing on podcasting is, how do they find you? Okay, so I believe in radio, and then let's do all the stuff on radio. So let's give that opportunity through 91.5 FM to, do the YouTubing and to do the Facebooking and the streaming and all the different things. So that's what I think is important. You have to have the base, and then, of course, go on from there. So if you're thinking about a show on WAPN, you've been contemplating, you've been going, well, I don't know if she'll do the idea. I am a yes girl as long as it brings people to Christ. That's all that matters to me. And so each person does it a different way, and it's going to reach a different group of people. So if you've been thinking about coming on WAPN, it's really reasonable. For as little as for 15 minutes, $35 a week. You have to do at least 15 minutes a week. That is our requirement. And so we can get you on the air going as little as $35 a week, and it will be around the world. And so that's what today's technology day, and I was just thinking about that as I was getting ready to go on the air. How do you listen to us? Where do you listen to us? And what's your favorite? Yeah, I do. I want to know your favorite thing, because I like to come up with different ideas. I remember when we have Spanish on there, we still have Spanish on Wednesdays and Saturdays. But people were like, why do you have a different language right in the middle of your programming? That's a whole group of different language that can reach a whole group of different people. And so, yes, I love doing younger programming. I love doing gospel programming. I would like to have some country Christian. Like I said at the very beginning of this conversation, I am a live praise and worship kind of girl, but that does not mean I wouldn't like to have you on the air. Let's talk about radio. Let's talk about your vision and what we can do to help your ministry, or just you, get on the air and reach the world with technology. So that was all about this morning. Like I said, I came in here excited about the day, not knowing what God's plan is for the day. I have a meeting this morning, and I don't know what God's plan is even with that meeting, but I'm going to go with an open heart and open mind and see where it takes me. You never know what God is going to open a door and say, I'm asking you to go in with a good attitude, a good mindset, and let's see what happens. And I think what happens is our stinking thinking gets in the way. We get stinking thinking. We always think the worst of every situation. I'm guilty of that. I am. You're comfortable, you're set in your ways, whatever. And then something else comes along and you think, oh, well, that's not a true statement. Something else comes along, and it could be a whole new adventure. It could be a fresh idea. It could be whatever God is going to use it for. But we, as humans, as natural people on the earth, we already form an opinion about something. And so I'm trying very hard to be more open-minded about things and more willing. You get, like I said, I get comfortable, but I want to use these airwaves for the goodness of the Lord. I want to use these airwaves to reach all people. And over the last several years, I've really been into the nonprofit, and still am. and will always support the nonprofit because I believe that that's a bridge that needs to be gapped between the churches and the nonprofits of our area. We have some amazing nonprofits that we don't even get to hear about. And I love opening the airwaves and talking to those different nonprofits and doing the different things. This morning, we were supposed to be doing our year-end cap of all the Volusia County women that care. We are changing it to another week or so just because I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm in radio, so we're working every day, 24/7. And a lot of people are just going back to work after the Christmas break after 2 weeks. And so it just got crazy. So we're delaying that. But that is something I really love to do, is to bring in the different nonprofits that, throughout the year have been blessed with different financing and what they thought they were going to use them for and what they're going to use them for. Because being a nonprofit, we appreciate your donations. And, I was talking about that yesterday. Thank you, everybody that donated in 2025. And maybe you want to partner with us in 2026. You can come by the radio station at 1508 State Avenue right here in Holly Hill. You can throw it to the mail drop, or if I'm here, stop and talk to me. Or you can go to our website, WAPN.net, and click on Give Now. Become a monthly partner, one-time gift, whatever you'd like to do. But we thank everybody that's donated to WAPN for the over and above. I really, really do appreciate it. Your dollars, your fives, your hundreds, your thousands, whatever. It makes a difference here on WAPN. Nothing is too small and nothing is too huge to help a nonprofit. So you think your dollar doesn't make a difference? Well, if everybody listening right now did $1, that's huge. So do your dollars today, your quarters, your change, whatever. We really appreciate you supporting WAPN and keeping us going. 40 years right here at the same location, and we have started WAPN with prayer, and we will always have prayer on WAPN. I think that's a vital part of WAPN, is praying for people, standing the gap for them, encouraging them, meeting them right where they're at, and I think salvation. So, if you believe in God, you have a place here on WAPN. You don't have to be a so-called ministry. You can be a ministry, but you don't have to be a so-called ministry. You can be a layman that says, I would like to come in and do rock and roll music, or I would like to, do a youth program, or I would like to do a recovery program, or whatever it is. I would love to talk to you about how you can become part of the WAPN family. Like I said, it's probably easiest to send me an email, WAPN@WAPN.net, because I work different hours and stuff, and email's just the easiest. That our phone number is not a text number, which cracked me up. That I'm glad that happened this morning, because I didn't even think about that. We just take it for granted that we can text. And so I will be calling back that person this morning. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all of our listeners, all of our ministries, all the pastors that I've got to be part of for the last 40 years. We're one big family here at WAPN. We love doing life with you, and we love doing radio with you. I love this community. I love being part of this community. So it takes an army, and it takes each one of us with a different vision, like-minded people with a different vision to reach different people. And that's what I love also about this new movement, this new revival among us. It's bringing out different things. It's making us get outside of our norm, out of our little box, and do it different ways. And so I'm thankful for the youth. They are our future, and we need to figure out different ways to bring them in to the radio and to technology and all the different things. So like I said, email me, WAPN@WAPN.net. Let's get our favor on. When we're negative, let's start over. When we're tempted to get negative and go around complaining, we need to just turn it around. We need to remember that God is in control. God is in control of today, every day, all things. So let him take it and do it. And so we are doing our decluttering also. New year, new mindset, reset. So we're working on the food storage thing today. We talked about the kitchen this week, going through your cabinets, getting rid of the storage things. And I thought that was fitting, that the one for the 60 and then the one for the that it's on food storage today. So check out your cabinets today and get rid of those extra things. And how many lids do you actually have that you don't have the bottom to, or how many bottoms do you have that you don't have the lids to? That drives me crazy. And so Clean it up today, people. It is Tuesday, January 6, 2026. The weather in Holly Hills, 74 with the low of 55. Madison, 72 with the low of 45. If it's your birthday today, one of my favorite people today, Susan Kelly. Happy birthday, Susan. And everybody else, Anisha, and everybody else that's celebrating a birthday, anniversary, whatever you're celebrating, happy, 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 happy. Today is National Technology Day, and I do love me some technology. Well, y'all